Hi, this is Matthew with Marble Gems. So today we're driving down to Florida with my son, and we're going through southern Utah, and we're on our way to Moab, and we stopped here at a place called Dewey Bridge. And there's a lot of agate around here and some really neat stones. One of my favorite is these little stones that's actually a flint. So we're going to look for those, and I'll show you what we're looking for
over there.
if I find some. But let me show you one of the most common stones that you'll find here. Jaron just picked up this piece of agate. Here it is here. On the outside, this is what it would look like. And this has probably been in an ancient riverbed for a long time. But you can see that the skin is kind of rough. It's not polished. And that where there's a fracture, it has this look here. This would make some pretty interesting marbles, but I gotta fly back on the plane, and I already have some of this stuff, so I'm not gonna bring it with me. But they call this pigeon blood agate. But you can see the marks in there, the little bullseyes. It has like a colloidal fracture on it. But they call this like yellow cat flat agate. But it comes in big pieces, and it's kind of interesting, but I'm just going to leave it. There's a piece of volcanic type of stuff, and it's been rounded. But the agates I look for, or the flints, generally they're not really super smooth. Oh, there's one right there, but it's kind of small. And these are actually flints, and you can see that it's kind of got that colloidal fracture right there, but they have microfossils in them, and they make really neat marbles. Let's keep looking. An interesting rock right here. Stickers too. That's a little bit too small. Let's keep looking around here. Here's one. That's what I'm looking for. It's pitted. It's kind of smooth. But something like that. They're kind of interesting. But this is the kind of thing. There's kind of an interesting piece of granite. Let's keep looking. Kind of an interesting stone.
The speckles in that one.
Ooh, yeah. That's a piece of flint. That one's not, though. That one's not. This one's pretty cool because that might be big enough to make a marble with.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of stuff. You see the little fractures? See?
Yeah.
Right there? Those are colloidal fractures. So this is a piece of flint. And those are probably little microfossils in it. So that's a good piece right there. I'm going to leave that small one. Only one. Oh, here's another one that's good. This is some of the stuff I'm looking for too, right here. But see how this has got that fracture?
Mm-hmm.
This stuff right here makes really awesome marbles. Let's find some big stuff like this. Here's a little tiny one right here. A little colorful one. It's kind of small. But that's a good one right there. Piece of that flint. That's a good little one to put in your pocket. What did you find? Yeah, this is some of this stuff. This is very similar. But yeah, this has got that, see the fractures right there? Yeah, it's kind of got that colloidal fracture. Awesome. Okay, I found a nice piece. I'm going to take this piece home. That one would be a really interesting one to cut into. It's about the size of a chicken egg. Put that one in my pocket. A lot of really interesting rocks. Look at that layered rock right there. I wonder if that's a piece of worn down petrified wood. Probably just sandstone though.
Not a good piece.
Let's see.
You can make a marble out of it though.
Oh yeah, a little bit too small, but yeah, this is the kind of stuff. This stuff is really hard.
What is this?
That's a little piece of flint, but it's kind of on the edge where it's not really a really good piece. It's layered. But yeah, this right here, I love this stuff. I made a bunch of marbles and sold it to a guy in England. He loved them because they're super tough. And they've got good weight and density to them as well. Okay, I spotted one in the ground here that I like the look of. Let's see how big it is. Is it big enough to make a marble with? Oh, it might be. Oh yeah. That'll be a neat flint. See, look at the fractures. It's got that colloidal type of fracture. I think that's thick enough to make a good one. Yeah, that'll be awesome. I wonder if it's green on the inside. Look at this one. It's kind of cool. See, it's got that little fracture right there that's like a, yeah. Awesome. Let's look around for a few more minutes and then we'll go. So there's all these prickly pears out here. There's been a couple patches that we've seen that are full of fruit. Oh, look it, I found one. A good one. This one's got microcrystalline fossils in it too. Look at, there it is. That was big enough to make a marble. Oh, cool. That'll make a pretty one. I'll make a pretty yellow one. Oh, cool. That's just the kind of thing I'm looking for. That's what they look like on the outside. And when you cut into them, they're pretty solid. So look at this. Look at this patch of prickly pears. So these prickly pears, they're full of seeds, but on the outside, they got a fruit on them that's, you can make jam with them. It kind of tastes like a slightly ripened cantaloupe, and not entirely ripe, like when you get next to the skin. But look at them all. There's gobs of them. You can come out here and pick these all. Yeah, cool. Get a whole gallon of them. Make a prickly pear jam. Well, we're about done. We just wanted to take a short little stop here, look around for some of these little flints.
That piece. A little white piece right there.
Yeah, it's too small. It's a piece of quartz.
Huh?
But this piece right here, I wonder if this is a big flint nodule. It looks like it. Ooh, I'm going to take that one home. That's a big one. But you see how it's pitted? See how it has these pits in it here? It doesn't have any fractures where you can see it, but I think that this is a piece of that type of flint. It's a whole one. That's a big one. That will make some neat marbles. Oh, there's a yellow one. Look at that yellow one right there.
Oh, dang.
Oh, this is the kind that I like too. Right next to the prickly pear, don't get me. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, see the little fossils? Right here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to lick it so you can see. Do you see those little fossils in there?
Mm-hmm.
Those are like little clamshell fossils. So cool. This one is just
I wanted to show
totally
you
full of-
all the stones that we found the other day, and see if I can get a close-up of some of these flints. Now, one of the interesting thing about flints that is flints come from a limestone structures, and often flints have fossils embedded in them. When you break a flint, it has like that fracture that looks like it's broken glass, and so sometimes you can tell that. The other thing that you can tell with these flints when you're out looking for them is they have all these pits in them, and they will be shiny. Now, all of these have been tumbled down an ancient riverbed, which is why they're rounded, and they don't have like any skin on them from from where they were formed, but they form like a little kidney stone. But here's this one right here. As you can see in this one, it has some little shell fossils in it. Oh, there's a good one right there. You can see that. So this one will make a nice marble or two, and it'll be interesting to see what color it is. In this light it shows yellow, but it's actually kind of a tan brown. So, and here's a little red one, and you can see that it has some fossils in it as well, like right there. There are fossils of little clam shells. That one's kind of interesting. I don't know if that will make a marble. Here's another one that has little fossils in it right there, those little specks right there. And this one's thick enough it might make a marble. This right here wasn't a flint, but it was kind of a pretty interesting stone that had some banding in it. It might be fossilized of some sort and hard enough to make a nice, pretty marble. Here's a nice one right here. It's got a fracture through it. I'm not exactly sure if this one's a flint or not, but we picked it up, and it'll be interesting to cut it up, but it might be. Here's another one. This one is more yellow, and it does have some little microfossils in it. Here's this big one right here. This will be interesting to cut into. I can't wait to cut into this one. But these pits right here tend to be like where there is a shell fossil, and they tend to be a little bit softer. But you can see this one right here is a pretty big fossilized, and if you can barely see around the outside of it, but I can see the shell shape in there. So this one will be cool to cut into. There's a fossil piece in there. So this one will be interesting to cut into to see what kind of fossils are in it. Here's another piece right here that's big enough to make a marble. This piece right here is big enough to make a marble. This one might be big enough to get a marble out of one little spot right there. Here's one that you can really see the fossils well in it. Those little specks are actually shells. And then there's some other little pieces. I picked up this black rock. It's kind of interesting, but I don't think it's a flint. No, I don't think so. And then there was some of these other little ones that we picked up that were pretty, but that black one's not. Oh, that one might be a flint. It had some kind of cool banding on it. Anyways, that was our little hoard that we found. Some colorful stones, but these are the kind of things that a lot of people don't pick up and look at because they just look like regular stones. But it's been my experience that when you cut into them, they're really interesting because they are flints and they have little fossils in them. And they make great marbles. Alright, thanks for watching.